Y'all already know how I give it up, man. Early in the morning, man. I'm like what's the slogan? A day late, a dollar short on these topics. Good night. Good morning, though. Salute to the NBA community, man. I am back. Seven Mitchell. This is the best of seven sports talk. We got a couple interesting topics to kind of go over, bro. Y'all already know how we give it up in the NBA community. So shout out and good morning again to all the sports fans. We at it, man. We locked and loaded. So we not going to waste too much time. Going to be a pretty quick show, but there was definitely a couple things that I wanted to kind of discuss. So make sure you guys smash that like button when you come in to the chat. If you guys are new to the platform, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that notification bell, man. Good to see everybody this morning. Hope everybody is going to have a productive Tuesday. Y'all already know how we give it up, man. Again, here at the Best of Seven Sports Talk. Let's get things started this morning, man. I want to talk about the big homie, Joel Embiid, and these reports that seem to continue to hit the airwaves. And we're going to talk about what we think should be happening.
So they
So they report
basically saying
basically
that.
saying that.
Matter of fact,
Matter
let
of
me do
fact,
it
let me
this
do it
way
this way
because I
because
got
I got
something.
something that I want to actually add. But there are these reports coming out about Joel Embiid really being a good fit, or the ideal fit at least, for the New York Knicks. Embiid has been mentioned for months, according to the social media around the league circles, as the Knicks' ideal trade candidate. Leon Rose, who had served as Embiid's agent before taking over the front office in New York, has reportedly accumulated some future draft picks. Some are projected losing a little bit of value right now, but he's actually showing that he may have a package together that could assist in grabbing the reigning MVP. Now, what do I think about Joel Embiid being a New York Knick? First of all, is it time for Joel Embiid to go when we talk about Philly? I guess we're going to need to take this thing step by step. In my eyes, in my eyes, it's been time for Joel Embiid to be gone, but for different reasons. I can go back to, what was that, 2019, when Jimmy Butler joined them? When Jimmy Butler decided to leave Philly after that one, I think after 1 year, something inside me always felt like the main reason, or one of the main reasons, that Jimmy didn't want to try to work that out was the immaturity of Joel Embiid. I didn't think it was so much the Ben Simmons situation, because I don't even think we even got there as of yet. So I don't think it was really Ben Simmons. Jimmy Butler is a blue collar basketball player. Zero tolerance, don't play no games. He's about his business. We seen what happened with him in Minnesota, and then coming to Philly, I felt like Joel wasn't as mature as he should be. Played social media real heavy, things of that nature. Then they wind up losing. And, when Jimmy left, I felt like the 76ers were going to pay, because their best player is in a way sabotaging their potential. So they wind up getting rid of Ben Simmons. They bring in James Harden. Joel Embiid, for what it's worth, individually has been a monster. I will definitely give him his props, because at the beginning of his career, I had a lot of doubts. I had a lot of questions, wondering how healthy and sustainable this guy would be throughout his NBA career. Not so much that he would be a bust, but would he be able to reach his full potential just off of availability alone? Got the MVP last year, or this last past season. Um, Individually, he has definitely improved and stepped his game up. But in my eyes, I think the gig is up in Philly. Joel Embiid may actually need another breath of fresh air. I just don't see, especially with what's going down right now with James Harden. It seems to me James Harden is determined to make his way with the Clippers. And you got so much adjustments and things going down in Joel Embiid's career, from Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler to, James Harden. And no one really wants to stick around and try to see things out. And Joel Embiid, for what it's worth, is an X factor in all of those experiences. I'm not saying he's the reason why they have lost or have not been as successful as, planned, as a fan of a Philadelphia 76ers, but I will say I think that it's time for Joel Embiid to kind of relocate. I just don't see I their window to make the NBA finals in the Eastern Conference, I just believe has shut. Joel Embiid's partner in crime hasn't been dependable since he's never really had a dependable partner in crime. Let's keep it real. Ben Simmons wasn't dependable and reliable. You can't rely on James Harden. Like Joel, he is definitely a guy that may have to do things by himself or everything be led around him. I just don't think Philly is really going to be able to get it done at this point. I just feel like that noise we done heard too much before. Putting him in a different spot to me would definitely be ideal. Now, New York, I'm looking at the Knicks like the biggest thing that they could use right now is some wing presence. I heard that there was talks that the Clippers were offering Paul George to the New York Knicks, but the Knicks didn't want to sign Paul George to that extension. But I do think New York could definitely use some wing presence on their team. But if you have somebody like Joel Embiid coming to New York, and if you can keep him there, I think that you could and New York is definitely changing the culture a little bit of basketball as far as winning basketball with that team. I think it definitely goes to another level with Joel Embiid in New York. Not because he's just the reigning MVP. I see Joel Embiid setting the tone for other superstars that want to come to New York and play along with him in Madison Square Garden to build something of some actual merit. Right now in Philly, it's just so much going on, you know, in the locker room, front management. Your teammate basically doesn't want to be there anymore. He has went through so much emotion wise in Philadelphia. To me, it just makes perfect sense for him to bounce. Being ideal for the New York Knicks, I don't know. I don't know. Like I see Joel Embiid in New York. I think of that as being like Patrick Ewing 2.0, to keep it real, right? Like I think he would definitely be able to have the city in his hands, similar to what Patrick Ewing had at a point. Now we got Jalen Brunson and some other guys over there in New York, definitely doing their thing, holding it down. I think they won a playoff series last year. But Joel Embiid could be the pillar of that franchise and organization for a while. And I do think that he has matured up a couple of years since, the issues that I've had with him. So I like him in New York as a stable foundation for him. But I don't know if Joel Embiid really is the right part for the New York Knicks at this point, to be honest. Now, why these people got their damn car alarm going off is beyond me. And they sitting in front of their car. I don't know if they stealing it or what, but they really blowing me. I got to talk to the damn bosses about my neighbors, y'all. I can't have that. Then I got my other neighbor. He out here blasting. Like, I don't be understanding the hood, bro. It is literally 7 o'clock in the morning. Y'all see me up early doing this show, right? These guys is outside on bikes with damn speakers, man, with the little portable speakers, blasting it all in the hood. Like everybody want to hear this type of music they playing. Like, I hate hood DJs, man. I really do. But getting back to the topic of discussion, bro. Again, Embiid to New York will be dope for him. I think it will be another. It would be a good look. It would definitely be a good look in my eyes for him, and I think that he could definitely attract some more players or more pieces, key pieces, to go to New York. But New York, to me, has an opportunity to compete right now. And you don't want to have a situation where, in order to get Joel Embiid, you're giving up basically your core, you're giving up your nucleus, you're giving up on everything that really has gotten you to respect as of late. You know, Joel is the MVP. Year before that, people felt like he had got robbed. So you're dealing with a guy who could have honestly been a two-time reigning MVP right now, possibly coming into your fold. And to me, generally on paper, I think it would be a problem. But everybody in the Eastern Conference have pretty much gotten better. So him going to New York doesn't automatically put the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals or in the NBA Finals or anything like that. But it does go to show that that team is looking to build not just for a playoff run, they are interested in going for championship. So much respect from that angle for Joel Embiid possibly leveling up his career in order, to get an NBA championship. Salute to my dog Donald Peterson. Big up to everybody, man. We actually live streaming on a few different platforms this early morning: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So again, shout out to the NBA community as a whole. My guy Donald Peterson, bro, I appreciate you. So support you show on Facebook for the content. Definitely salute to you. But what y'all think about Joel Embiid being an ideal trade candidate for the New York Knicks? We're talking about a team who has been a laughing stock for the most part for a long time. And they just started to get some respect and they make the playoffs. Is Joel Embiid the type of player right now, even though he just won the MVP, when you look at the overall body of work from Joel Embiid, is he the player that you would kind of possibly break up your core for in New York just to bring him in? Because if Philly demands a trade for Joel Embiid, especially after what they're experiencing right now with James Harden, you can pretty much be willing to bet Philly is going to want to ask for damn near everything that New York has. So you have to kind of wonder, if New York get rid of some key pieces, can they still make some real damage sooner than later? Like I said, Joel Embiid in New York would definitely, in my eyes, bring another star or two to New York. How long would it take for that to happen would be interesting. New York is looking to kind of win right now. They are on a trajectory to win right now. And I don't know how much they would have to give up in totality to bring Joel Embiid into the fold. But at the end of the day, I really think that is over for Joel Embiid in Philly. You know, he had his best individual season last year based off of accolades, but every partner in crime here he has, he really can't depend on. You know what I'm saying? And some of it, I think, partially was his fault due to his immaturity level. But he's grown up. I got a lot of respect for Joel Embiid. Offensively, defensively, he's definitely gets in and out of his pockets. I think he will be a nice fit for New York. I'm just not sure what New York would have to give up to bring him on board. That's just the big thing to me. And then you look at the surrounding pieces in the Eastern Conference. You know, so many other teams are getting better. But you don't miss a beat in my eyes if you bring in Joel Embiid. As long as you're able to keep, Jalen Brunson for starters. I like that combination to build. You know what I'm saying? Jalen and Joel Embiid. I like that to build, especially if you're going to have to get rid of like Julius Randle, RJ Bird, and all those guys. I do like that. And let's not act like New York wouldn't be willing to get rid of these guys, because they was willing to get Paul George from the Clippers, but they wasn't trying to sign the extension. So this is going to be an iffy story. This is going to be something that we'll be talking about much more coming up later in the season. But keep your eyes out for Joel Embiid and the New York Knicks. We could actually see something happen. That could be crazy. Let's talk about James Harden for a quick second. We have kind of sort of an update, if that's what you want to call it. I know yesterday the Sixers had reported on social media that they wanted a all-star level return for James Harden. The 76ers are in a position on a Harden trade that has been described as unreasonable by the competing executives. So this guy's really blowing me with this music. He's really blowing me with this music. So what we have here right now is a situation where we have reports of James Harden determined to go to the Clippers on one end, and then on the other end, we have the Clippers saying they want an all-star caliber return in order to get rid of James Harden. I mean, I really got to talk to the bosses because how if he is going to the Clippers, what all-star caliber player is there? Like, this is what I fear. You can't substitute. You can't substitute Paul George for James Harden and think you're going to get success. Now, I'll be one of the first to admit this whole Kawhi Paul George experience and with the Clippers have not been a successful one. We all know that. And the Clippers, just as of late, try to wait a minute. I got to do something about this music. Hang tight, people. My neighbor is blowing me to the highest order this morning. I swear, music is just blasting. But like I was saying, man, James Harden going to the Clippers, how is that really going to work? For LA to really have dominance, you need to keep your guys and bringing in James Harden. I can't see the Clippers doing anything more than what they have done because you swapped out those guys. And if New York wasn't willing to give the extension to Paul George, why would Philadelphia? Is Paul George the guy that could help bring Philly a championship? Because the extension would get that's like 3 to 5 years. So you'll have this current Paul George in the Philadelphia uniform for the next few years. He's not no number one. He's never been a number one. So, Joel Embiid, James Harden, him going to Philly, to the Clippers, I get it. He did. I'm hearing a lot of reports he wanted to rejoin Russell Westbrook, of course. But the Sixers wanting an all-star caliber player in return, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. Because it doesn't make sense for Paul George to be that guy, because I don't think he's going to change anything for Philly on Philly's behalf. Joel Embiid and Paul George, it's a solid combination when you think about it. Paul George did well with Roy Hibbert in Indiana. So, you could look at it from that aspect of, that duo could actually be something special if Paul George could get consistent with the availability side of things. And that's the thing. It's like with the Clippers trade, what are you sacrificing or what are you going to have to give up at the end of the day in order to make this happen? Because you can't talk to me all day, every day about accolades and stuff when it comes to James Harden. His resume is crazy. He definitely runs down, check off a lot of boxes as far as accolades, but we talking about actually winning championships. A lot of people feel like James Harden is one of these NBA players that care about his money more than NBA championships. And I don't want to go there because he always try to find his way out of tough situations to get into a better spot. You know, going from Houston to Brooklyn and to Brooklyn to Philly and now from Philly to Philadelphia all in the matter of a few seasons. I don't think that's all driven by just money or a dollar bill. I think he's definitely trying to maximize his chances of winning an NBA title without having to go through the struggle and the grind. Um, and you can't blame somebody for trying to create their own path to greatness. But I don't, James Harden now plays so many positions in pockets. It's just like where's he would fit best. And you talk about dependability and reliability. Is he going to be reliable going in LA? The 76ers, to me, eventually is going to have to take a L. You cannot get, you're not going to get, I just don't see it. The Clippers are not going to trade Kawhi Leonard for Paul George, right? I mean, for James Harden. That's just a no-no. Would they trade Paul George for James Harden? Possibly. But number one, would Philly pick up the extension on Paul George? Is it worth it? Does Philly benefit from a Paul George, Joel Embiid relationship? And if Joel Embiid is if he gets headed to New York, can Philly build anything with just Paul George? Does he attract other stars to be able to come to Philly and play with him? And then you look at the Clippers. If the Clippers were to trade Paul George for James Harden, does that make that team even better because you swapped out Paul George for James Harden? I don't think so. I don't think so. James Harden resume it stacks up in comparison to Paul George. Accolades, he supersedes Paul George. But we talking about availability. We talking about somebody that you can depend on and rely on in the key moments. I'm not sold on that with James Harden. I'm really not. And if it's going to work in LA, in my eyes, you're going to need all your guys. You're going to need Kawhi. You're going to need James. You're going to need Russell. You're going to need Paul George. So Philly talking about they are going to be looking for an all-star level return from James Harden. I just don't see how. Not that they don't deserve it or not that they can't get it from somewhere else. But if he is determined to play with the Clippers, Philly is basically telling me that they don't have no respect or desire to appease what James Harden wants. Like he's not Damian Lillard to them. And you even see what Portland is doing with Dame. Dame has been wanting to go to Miami since this whole conversation of a trade started. And Portland hasn't pulled the trigger. It doesn't matter how loyal you've been to a team. This is a business, and they are going to do what's best for them at the end of the day. So the relationship between James Harden and Philly is definitely strained. It might be over, but as far as the direction of the future, to me, it's still up for grabs because what Philadelphia is asking, they're not going to get from the team that James Harden wants to go. Unless you're going to convince me that Russell Westbrook is still an all-star and you're good with Westbrook and Embiid. I don't see that working in Philadelphia at all. So, James Harden, bro, is going to be an interesting situation. Good seven salute, Jeep. Good morning to you, my dog. But, that's just my thoughts and opinions on James Harden and the 76ers, man. I don't think they're going to get no type of all-star level return if they trade him to the Clippers because that's going to destroy what they need in order to be successful in LA. They can't afford to swap out Paul George for James Harden. They can't afford to swap out Kawhi Leonard for James Harden. They're going to need everybody to be a threat in the Western Conference. So I'm looking at Philadelphia like they may send off James Harden, but somewhere else. And how is that going to affect the future of Harden and his legacy, depending on where they put him at? Because clearly Harden is not a guy that's going to primarily take you to the promised land on his own. He seems to be a number two to me. He has the skill set to be a number one. He has the cachet to be a number one. He has the resume, the accolades to be a number one. But when it comes down to the basketball game itself, James Harden to me is not a number one. You're not going to win a championship led by him. Simple and plain. Can he be a key part of a run? Possibly, but I think it's going to have to be situational, and he's going to have to commit. Every time thing goes sour, bro, James Harden is quick to run or quick, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing I think that's always going to be a problem when we talk about James Harden, bro. This is the best of seven sports talk, man. Seven Mitchell in the building. About to take a real quick break. When we come back, we got to talk about James Worthy and LeBron James and this LeBron James statue conversation going down here at the best of seven. Y'all already know how we're about to do. So we about to take a quick 60-second break, and we'll be back for the latest topic. Make sure y'all smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. You already know, man. Good morning. Welcome back, y'all, to the best of seven sports talk. We got one more topic we got to discuss before we get up out of here this morning. So salute again to the NBA community, man. If you guys are new to the platform, make sure y'all smash that damn like button. Y'all already know how we give it up. So before we get up out of here, man, we got to talk about James Worthy, LeBron James, a conversation about a goddamn LeBron statue. Let's talk about it. So James Worthy, former legend of the Lakers, thinks that LeBron James could get a statue in Los Angeles and in Cleveland. Not so much so in Miami. This is what James Worthy had to say about LeBron getting a statue in LA and Cleveland. He said, but I think overall, his greatness, when you have a player like LeBron who breaks Kareem's record in Los Angeles, does it as a Laker, then wins a championship as a Laker, you can't argue that he could get a statue in Los Angeles. And he could get one in Cleveland as well. So I don't know about Miami, but bringing one to Cleveland and Los Angeles, it's doable in my opinion. Wow. LeBron James getting a statue. Does LeBron deserve a statue in Los Angeles, Cleveland, Miami? Let's talk about it. Cleveland, for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about it. A statue to me is an understatement. Like, yeah, that's not even a question in Cleveland. That's something small. That's something light. Nah, that's nothing. Miami, yes. I don't know why people question whether LeBron should get a statue in Miami. He literally changed the game in 2010. He brought winning back to that culture. Everybody talk about Miami is a winning franchise and an organization. And yeah, they won the chip in 2006. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2005. But the consistency of respect at the highest level came when LeBron James was on board. And what he did for that organization, uh, I don't see why you wouldn't give LeBron a statue in Miami. So I do believe he deserves one in Cleveland. I believe he deserves one in Miami. I do believe and I do feel like he deserves one in Los Angeles as well. And I'm looking at James Worthy's points about what LeBron has accomplished in LA. It has been special in my eyes. But if we are going to be objective, since when did LeBron come to LA? What, 2019? He's missed the playoffs, I think, 1 or 2 years. He got bumped in the first round. It has been a rocky road. You know, he did bring him a championship. He's done some individual awesome things, but it hasn't been amazing or like, life changing for Los Angeles with this experience with LeBron in my eyes. And when you got guys like Kobe and Shaq and Magic and Kareem, I will admit, I feel like those guys have put in a little bit more pain for the purple and gold. Now, it's just like LeBron could get a statue in Los Angeles. I would never say he doesn't deserve one, but in reality, to me, it would have to wait until everybody else was set. The Kobe's, the Magics, the Shaqs. Once those guys set, and I think Shaq and Mag, they already got statues, but I'm just saying those guys will have to be put in position for statues first in LA before LeBron. Because even though LeBron has had a very special resume, done some things great in Los Angeles, you look at the overall journey in LA, it hasn't been real pretty. It hasn't been real pretty. When I think of you getting a statue, it's because the body of work that you've done in this particular area might not be able to be duplicated ever again. Like you've done something unique, so rare, so special. And even though LeBron has brought Los Angeles back to relevancy, LeBron hasn't done anything in these 4 or 5 years that's like impossible for someone else to do. You understand what I'm saying? And for that reason alone, I feel like LeBron could possibly deserve a statue in Los Angeles, but he would have to probably get into the back of the line versus a lot of the other legends that we know coming from the purple and gold. But I agree with James Worthy for the most part. Now he's not sure that LeBron should get one in Miami. I don't know why not. Why wouldn't LeBron James deserve a statue in Miami? You give D Wade one, I get it. It's Wade County. I'm gonna always have a problem with people try to tell me that Dwayne Wade taught LeBron how to win. I hate that statement with a passion. I really do. But without LeBron James, Miami would have never sniffed another championship. I watched many years of Dwayne Wade in Miami after Shaquille O'Neal left, where it was nothing but first round exits or no playoffs at all. LeBron came. They did lose in the 2010 NBA Finals to Dallas, but people forget LeBron was deferring a whole lot to Dwayne Wade in that first season. LeBron didn't have the driver's seat. The following year, when he took the keys over, MVP, back-to-back championships for Miami. I mean, he took the Miami franchise to 4 straight NBA Finals, right? And he repeated. And he was the best player on the team at all times. And he changed the culture at that time as well, as far as players being able to take control of their own destiny. You know what I'm saying? We seeing all these how super teams and things are formed and built, and players, doing what they do. That's kind of based off of the moves that LeBron made and the tone that he set. So if you ask me, LeBron deserves a statue every damn stop. But if we talking Los Angeles specifically, he would have to get in the back of the line. Last but not least type of situation. That's my thoughts, man, on LeBron and what James Worthy had to say addressing a possible statue for LBJ. Is it worth it? I do think so. In all destinations, just depending on where we talking is how we would actually prioritize it. That's really where I'm going at it. But this is the best of seven sports talk, guys. I'm Seven Mitchell. I'm about to get up out of here. If you guys enjoy daily NBA content, make sure y'all follow me everywhere on social media: Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Y'all already know how we give it up 365, 24/7 when it comes to this thing that we love called basketball. Hope you guys enjoyed today, Tuesday. Hope y'all stay safe. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning here at the best of seven. Smash that like button if you guys would like to contribute or donate to the network. Please support the platform. Links will be in the description. You guys stay safe. Have a good Tuesday. And I am out. Peace, guys.